It's day 2 of the sheep show. I'm all refreshed. It's freezing cold this morning, which is great because it is the middle of winter and it makes the experience all the more exciting. I missed out so much of the show yesterday when I was here, so this morning I've actually started at the part that I missed out, which is the woolcraft section here and here, and it's really good so far. I'm ticking things off my shopping list, and it's going to be good. I'm going to try and take you around as much as possible. It's a little bit awkward with a backpack and a shopping bag, but I'll take you with me anyway, so let's go. It's still early, it's still a little quiet, so I'm glad I'm checking out this area first. There's a couple of sheds along here to visit. Oh, coffee, yum. Let's go. home. And it's been a few days since the sheep show, so I thought it was about time that I shared with you my haul, my reasoning behind my purchases. Not that I needed to justify anything, because I have been saving up for this and I was going to just get whatever I wanted. But I will say that when I went to the show, I didn't really have anything specific in mind, other than I wanted to get some yarn to make the fairy bouquet sweater, which if you've seen it on Ravelry or Instagram, it is a fingering with held together with a mohair, and it's a beautiful textural sweater. Lots of twisted rib, which I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but it is a beautiful sweater, and if you haven't already checked it out, you should. I'm just going to mute my phone. Yeah. So yes, so I wanted to do get some yarn for that, and I also wanted to see perhaps maybe I could find yarn for the Amy Slipover by Sunna's Garn, because I recently got the pattern book and I have been wanting to make this, and I could use yarn from my stash. I've got plenty of Nutedan I could use, but I thought if I find something nice, then yeah, it's a low quantity requirement for yarn, so I might be able to kind of treat myself to a small quantity of some yarn for the Amy Slipover, and that is the Amy Slipover. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a beautiful slipover, but instead of being knitted all the way in the round around the body, it's actually got side ties. So yes, so they were really the only things I had in mind that I wanted to get. I also wanted to get some of the products, the natural products from Wendella Farm, and I did manage to pick those up and I shared those on Instagram. But you're here for all the yarn and knitting stuff, aren't you? So without further ado, let's get this started. I have to get this filmed before the sun sets, because this is the last of the natural light and you need to see everything in natural light. So I did start my yarn buying tour at the Bendigo woolen mills, and I walked in without really wanting or needing anything. I was going to have a look at their bloom yarns, which are the color changing ones, and to me they look similar to spin cycle yarns dyed in the wool, except like a different quality, but they are all Australian wool. I think they're a nylon mix. We're going to check the ball band when I get them out, because I did buy some. So yeah, I walked in, I had a panic, it was really busy, I saw some beautiful colors, and in the end I just filled my basket with stuff, bought it and walked out, because I had the actual sheep show to get to. So there it was a courtesy bus from the train station which would take you to the sheep show via the Bendigo woolen mills. I've never been to the Bendigo woolen mills before, I've never bought from them before. I could have online, but I'd kind of been waiting for this occasion to see if I wanted to actually buy any, so I could like squish it and see if it's really for me. So what did I get? I bought a sweater quantity of 4-ply baby mint luxury yarn. It's 100% wool. This is a 200 gram ball and it's approximately 720 meters. And I bought this with the intention of knitting up the fairy bouquet sweater. So yes, so that meant I got a reasonably priced base wool in a really cute color. I think it's kind of my color. What do you reckon? So it meant that I just needed to find something at the sheep show to go with it, a mohair. And I had a look around, and on my journey I came across Melbourne City Dyeworks, and I almost didn't find them because they were actually based in one of the pavilions on the Oval, which They weren't very well signposted, I have to say. So there were 2 pavilions on the oval that you could easily miss because there was lots of parking around it, and there was really only one obvious way to get there. But I'm glad I got there because I bought some Melbourne City Dyeworks silk mohair in the colorway Crazy Iguana, and I'll just take it off and show you close up what it looks like. And I thought it was the best match for this yarn because I had a look around at some of the other stalls as well, and although they had some beautiful colorways, this was really the most true match that I could find. And yeah, it's really pretty, and it's got that kind of minty green, but it's also got some vibrant greens. Fluff everywhere. And yeah, so I got 3 of these, which essentially equates to 2 of those 200 gram balls of fingering, kind of in my rough maths, basic maths calculation in my head. So yes, so that is I'm getting real close to you now. That is essentially what I got. I got 3 of these to go with this. Yay!
I also bought some of that bloom yarn, and I'm going to sneeze any second. In the meantime, I'm going to bring out the bloom yarn. Oh, there's so much. There's so much. I've got a big bag of goodies here in front of me.
So yes, I also bought some of the Bendigo Mills bloom in an 8-ply, which is a DK. I got it in the colorway Rust, which if you look at it, it doesn't look at all rusty, but it's got pinks and purples and kind of this color through it, and greens and yellows. And I got, in a panic, I bought 3 balls of it. And again, it's a 200 gram ball, so it's essentially 600 grams of this colorway. I had intended it, when I was looking at it, for some color work, and I'll probably do that for sure because I've got some undyed yarn that it might work well with, but I just I probably don't need this much, but hey, why not, right? It wasn't too expensive either. I mean, I think it was $14 or $15 a ball, which is nothing. It's nothing really in the grand scheme of things. It is 100% pure new wool, so it's nothing fancy, but it is pure wool. It feels relatively soft. It doesn't really have a prickle factor for me. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. Why not? Why not? So the other things I bought at Bendigo, and they do have a, they do have a sock version of the bloom. And they had some gorgeous colors. They had this one here, which is good. I mean, essentially it's what I'm wearing, right? It's got oranges and pinks and yellows and corals. And this one is the 100 grams. It's a 4-ply. It is a wool nylon mix. So 30% wool, 30% nylon, 70% wool. That's the ball band there for you. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I bought it in a panic, as I said. And I also got this other colorway, which is Cottage Garden. And it's a gorgeous mix of greens and purples. I mean, this is just speaking my language right here. So, yeah. So these are the most colorful things I bought at the show because I don't know if you recall at the end of my first video, I said there was a bit of a color theme to my choices of yarn. Well, let's just say that the sheep show, for me, does have a color theme, and that color theme is green. Like a sagey minty green. You've already seen the first lot of it. I could not get off that wagon. I was on that green wagon the whole weekend, and pretty much almost everything I bought was green. So moving on. So when I got to the show, there was so much to see. As you will have seen in the video. Sorry, there's fluff everywhere. And there were just some really interesting and kind of unique yarns there as well. And one of the purchases I made was from, I think I'm pronouncing this correctly, Leahcim Farms. They breed Pole Merino sheep. And they have just recently started spinning their own yarn and hand dyeing it. I think that they get it spun at a local mill, but they do hand dye it. Someone on the farm dyes it for them. And they had a beautiful collection of dyed yarns already caked up. And it was the softest thing I had touched in a long time. And this is it here. It's a gorgeous sagey green, vibrant sage green with splashes of coral through it. And it is so soft. Again, it's a 4-ply. Sorry about that. We got interrupted. So yes, I was talking about this gorgeous yarn. It is 200 grams for the cake, and it is 100% Pole Merino sheep wool. And I initially thought that was a mixed breed of Polworth and Merino, but the lovely lady who was running the stall with her gorgeous sheep and yarn told me it's actually a breed of sheep. As I said, I'm not very knowledgeable about breeding sheep, but it was good to learn, and it was really nice to kind of get chatting to people to understand better the way that they produce the wool that they have, and the way they raise their sheep and the different breeds. So yes, this was my very first purchase inside the sheep show after I'd been to Bendigo Woolen Mills. It is just beautiful. And in case you missed it, or in case I've already cut out this information when I've edited, it's a 4-ply. A 4-ply, it's approximately 400 meters per 100 grams, and the gauge is 28 stitches and 36 rows on 3.25mm needles. So yeah, that's beautiful. I have no idea what I'm going to make with it, but I couldn't walk away. What else? Okay. Aha, yes, that's right. So for a while, I have been wanting to try a mohair company or producer here in Australia. I think they are the only Australian growers and processors of fine mohair here in Australia, I think. So they grow all their own. They have a huge herd or flock of Angora goats, and they use the mohair from the whole life cycle of their goats. So they produce a wide range of different yarns. So they breed the goats, they clip them, they process their fibre into lovely yarn, and they dye it all themselves. And they have a really extensive range of colours. And I've been dying to, excuse the pun, dying to try their yarns for a long time. But I wanted to be able to touch it before I bought it, and also figure out what weight of yarn I needed, because I mean, there's just so much choice, and they do everything from like super fine lace weight to 2-ply, 4-ply, 5-ply, 8-ply, 12-ply. They also do a cord, so it's a cordage, which I'm kicking myself for not buying, but I just couldn't figure out where I would use it. And yes, I'm talking about them without actually mentioning their name. It's Wagtail Yarns. They are based in Queensland. And their website, I will actually put a link below because you cannot miss out on this stuff. It is beautiful. And I bought this 5-ply specifically for this, which I think I just showed you before. The Amy Slipover by Sanders Gunn. Oh my lord, I'm never going to find it in this book. So I'm just going to post a photo over here. So yes, I bought it specifically for the Amy slipover. And guess what colour it is? It's green! And I've already caked it up. And I'm already knitting with it. So it knits up beautifully. This is the colour. I'm going really pink because I'm excited. And yeah, it's knitting up beautifully. So this is on 3.5 mil needles, which I know I've ranted about before, knitting on small needles, but it's a small project. So, and yeah, it's lovely. It's really nice. So it's silky, it's smooth, it's got that mohair fuzz without the extra fuzziness. So this one is a 60% merino, no, 60% mohair, 60% fine mohair, and 40% merino. So it is a blend. And this is their 5-ply, which is a sport weight. And we're losing the light, unfortunately. But as you can see, it is a kind of like nice sagey green, and this color is specifically called Misty Green. And I would get it again. It took me forever to decide which color to buy, but I settled on this. I almost went for the emerald green, but they didn't have enough for what I needed. They only had one skein of that left, but I can buy online later if I want to. So yeah, I got 3 of these to make the Amy slipover, and I've already started on that. I'm so easily excited. Oh, not only are we losing the light, we're losing the battery as well. I am not prepared for this at all. So let's continue. What else did I get? Oh, speaking of unique wool, there was this, there was a couple there in the first pavilion I went into that breed Finnsheep. Now, they are a rare breed. They are ethically farmed in the Macedon Ranges, which is not far from Melbourne and not far from Bendigo. And they were selling bags of fleece that you could spin. And they were also selling these gorgeous skeins of naturally dyed 8-ply or DK weight yarn. And again, this is 200 grams. A lot of the yarn I saw that was small batch, locally sourced, was sold in 200 grams. It's all non-superwash. This is dyed with indigo, and it is a gorgeous light blue. And I only bought 1 skein, but I figured I could use it in some colour work. I do have some undyed yarn. I have a lot of undyed yarn. I could mix it with this to maybe knit up the Badger and Bloom sweater, but this was just too lovely to walk away from, and I would have bought 1 in every colour or enough for a sweater, but I couldn't afford it at this stage. It was day 2 and I was already 2 sweater quantities in to my purchases, plus some random stuff and stitch markers, but I couldn't walk away without getting any of this. So this is the name of the company, Aveley, rare breed of Finnsheep, and this 200 gram skein has 316 meters approximately. So it's all grown, processed and dyed naturally by them. Right, we're getting through this. Oh my gosh. Okay, we're on to the last skein of yarn, and I couldn't walk away from the sheep show without showing support for the lovely Caitlin of A Maker's Burrow, who dyed up this beautiful silk merino yak for her boss. And I've forgotten the name of the company, but they are based in Bendigo, and I'll actually put it here on the screen somewhere so you know where you can get it. But Caitlin, A Maker's Burrow, is actually going to be dyeing up some more yarn soon, so please go check out her Instagram. This is so silky and so soft. It's light fingering, or a fingering weight, and it's a gorgeous green, deep foresty green, and I just couldn't walk away from it. It is absolutely beautiful. And on her Instagram, actually, she recently knitted up a beanie, a a textured beanie in, I think, some of this. Caitlin, correct me if I'm wrong. But go check her out. She's definitely worth following. And it's absolutely gorgeous. So yes, as I said, it was a green themed weekend. But I didn't just stop there. That's all the yarn, but I do have other things. And I'm just going to whiz through these because you'll probably see them used in all of my upcoming episodes. I don't know. So I bought lots of little stitch markers, and there were so many cute little mushroom stitch markers. So White Rabbit Handmade had a set of 5 and a set of 7 in all sorts of different colours, but these I found were the ones calling out to me, and I'm already using 2 of them on my Amy slipover. So they're already getting used, and they are just the cutest. They're made out of glass, and they're the type of stitch marker that you can unclip, so they're good for knitters and for crochet. And then I got some more mushroom stitch markers. Oop. And sorry, you'll have to excuse me while I try and sort these out so you can see them. A cute little set of 3. Beep. And this is from, oh gosh, there we go. You can see those. This is from Teatime Yarn Retreats. And that's her business card there. And they're super cute. And then what else did I get? Buttons. I have a huge stash of buttons, but I was looking for some buttons specifically for a cardigan that I want to knit. And I had these gorgeous, I found these gorgeous vintage ones. And these are from Catherine of Push My Buttons. Here's her business card. She had some gorgeous vintage buttons, lots of handmade ones as well, I think from modeling clay, polymer clay. I didn't really kind of stay to look around for those because I wasn't really in the market for those, but these are really lovely. I have some lovely white, ash grey plotalope that I want to knit up into a cardigan, so they will go very well. And what else? I wanted to get some natural dye as well, and I came across Dyeing to Weave up at the Woolcraft Sheds on day 2. And although I was specifically looking for indigo, she had some other yarns, other dyes that are natural, and they're from Japan, and they are Bengali Dyes. So this is the kit I bought. And it's a set of 3 different colors, and if memory serves, this is a set of, this is like a grey blue. This one comes out like a blush pink, almost like a more vibrant avocado, and this one here is more of an orange color, not super orange, but like a muted orange. So I'm gonna give these a go at some point when the weather warms up and summer starts kind of peeking its head above the horizon. I will start doing some dyeing. I also want to get into some cyanotype dyeing as well, so we'll see. But in terms of my purchases, I think that's it. Oh, I did buy some cute little sheep-shaped soaps as well for gifts, which I won't show you because they're all wrapped up. But yeah, it was a fabulous weekend. I'm so glad I went, even though I was by myself. It was great. I met so many lovely people, and yeah, if you're thinking about going, if you live in Melbourne or near Victoria, the state of Victoria, and you're thinking about going, I highly recommend it. But take the stress off yourself and stay overnight if you can, or if you live close by, just come over for the day and do it. I've never done this before. I've never been to anything like this before, so this was a whole new thing for me, but I'm so glad I did it. It was awesome. And yeah, until next year, I guess. But there'll still be plenty of yarn and knitting and probably sewing content coming your way in the next month. I've got plenty to knit on, so loads to share in the future. But yeah, I think that's everything for now. We have lost the sun. It has literally gone below the horizon. But I'm looking at a beautiful sunset and it's going to get even more beautiful. So I'm going to get outside for a little bit of a walk, and later on I will edit this video and get it up for you to watch. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please like and subscribe. I always feel awkward saying that, which is why I roll my eyes, but if you do, it does help out my channel. So yeah, and if you want to get notified when I actually post something, click the bell as well, if you fancy it. But until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.